Hello, all of my pageant Patricias, as we are not patties over here. Hi, my pageant Patricias, things like that. I think I'm going to make a name for us. Patricia, to me, as opposed to a pageant patty, is someone who is refined, defined, cultured, intelligent, and can articulate herself, her brand, her goals, and her dreams accurately to the judges in all phases of competition. That to me is the pageant Patricia archetype. And I wanted this episode to be about the power of presentation and mastering the art of perception. The power of presentation and mastering the art of perception. Like that? So, what exactly am I talking about? When you walk into a pageant, everything we all know, 2/3, if not 2.5 thirds of our score is based around appearances, whether that's your interview outfit, the way you wear your evening gown, your physique in fitness or swim, and your talent outfit, also has a little bit of say so. Now, this isn't the cost, right? And that's such a cliche thing to always say, like, oh, it's the cost. But it's not the cost. To me, it's the tailoring. It's the aura that you present in said outfit, which is why sometimes I am a fan of buying something new for the pageant specifically, because it boosts your confidence internally because you're wearing something new. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to being like aware of the environment and all that jazz, I am not a fan. This is just a little tangent of girls who buy a dress for $2,000 just for the evening gown, and then they sell it a week later, talking about only worn for 30 seconds. Yeah, duh. All of our dresses are only worn for 30 seconds. That's not a selling point. Okay, that's not a selling point. You shouldn't have bought a dress for $2,000 if you didn't know how to walk in it. If it's falling off of you. If it's the wrong color on you and it doesn't bring out your warm tones. But I digress. The power of presentation is about how you show up internally as well as externally. But today I just want to focus on internally. The power of presentation is about knowing who you are to a T, where any question somebody asks you pageant weekend, whether it's a judge or a director or a fan of yours, you're able to answer it eloquently, and you're able to answer it with so much confidence and gusto in you because you already know your branding, your agenda, and some of your defaults, characteristics of yourself that you can always talk about. When you walk into the interview, you want to present yourself as a well-rounded individual, but you also want to present yourself as somebody who has a certain brand or theme about themselves. And this looks all types of ways. When you really do a analysis of who you are, write down all these adjectives that people say about you or that you feel about yourself. Write down all the adjectives that you can think of. Write down some of the career aspirations that you can think of. Write down what kind of person you are. Write down what kind of image you want to be portrayed as in the world. And somewhere in that Venn diagram, you'll see a lot of repeats. And with repeats comes kind of who you are to the world, how the world sees you. This is best done by asking those around you to describe you. Like I always say, ask 5 people for 3 adjectives about you. Just ask 5 people that's closest to you that you talk to regularly and just see what they say. See what they say. See what your friends say, what your mama says, what your teacher say about you. You know what I'm saying? The cafeteria lady. See what they say. And that's kind of how you show up in the world. So when it comes to pageant weekend, you kind of have an idea of who you are. Now, when it comes to presentation, this is also a lot of things for pageant weekend. We're talking about health and fitness next. I think personally, when it comes to preparing for a pageant, you have to, in one way or another, work out. You have to move your body and you have to get in the gym or stay active because you're an athlete. But I think at all levels, I mean, honestly, I think starting at teens, in order to really compete in a pageant, I think if you don't have it, this is now, a lot of pageants have swimsuit and fitness, which would do this. But if your pageant doesn't have fitness or swimsuit, I think you still need to be in the gym consistently. Minimum 3 days out of 7. Minimum. I just left the gym. I'm literally reporting this right now as I left the gym, spent an hour in there. But I could have went in there for less. The mental gains and aptitude you gain from simply working out consistently and accomplishing these small little goals that the gym provides you will boost your confidence tenfold. And it will definitely improve your posture, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you go to the gym, you have like a ton of little mini goals to accomplish. I want to hit 10 sets doing 20 pounds. I want to, finish strong. You might start to feel defeated and tired at 6, but you push through for those last 4. Simply getting over that little hurdle, simply being consistent and going to the gym consistently makes you more disciplined. Working out the core, working out your spine, working out your arms so your arms look good in your gown, working out that back. A lot of women are really interested in getting their backs toned nowadays. So all of that is going to improve your posture and increase your mental gain. Whenever you go to the gym, you feel like a badass, right? Whenever I go to the gym, I put on my workout gloves. You know what I'm saying? I have these workout gloves with the fingers out, and I be 1, 2, do. And it helps me prevent calluses on my hands because I lift weights a lot. And I would encourage everyone to lift weights. But I do that to prevent calluses on my hands. You know what I'm saying? So, but the minute I put those gloves on, I feel like I could take down anyone. Like I'm a boxer. I start feeling those gloves. And then I'm able to, I feel like, work out and feel stronger during my workouts because I already feel like a kickboxer. You know what I'm saying? So then I try to do like a kickboxing type of workout. But that's neither here nor there. The way I feel more confident simply completing the task of going to the gym today and giving it my all, taking 1 hour out of your day to operate at your highest level physically, whether that's because you ran a mile or because you lifted 20 pounds and you're not usually lifting 20 pounds, all day. But it allows you to hit like a peak in your body where you all of a sudden have more energy levels. You're more aware of what you're eating and ingesting because you can see in real time how fatty foods make you feel sluggish versus eating your greens makes you kind of feel more alert and awake, especially after you work out. And I think that is key to having a strong presentation. Anyone can tell you when you see somebody who is fit, you all of a sudden equate them to being disciplined. Obviously, they're disciplined in one area or another. They're disciplined in at least working out the upper body because you see the upper body is toned. And that's not something that happens overnight. So you know that subconsciously. So it's like, wow, this person really committed to something consistently where I could see the results without, them like having to really like do anything. I could see the actual results of their hard work because they have these muscles popping out. or because they have a shape, which I'll mention that in a second. But simply having a physique, a fitness of strong shows the judges that you can see something through. And that's also what having a degree does. Whether or not you get a job from your degree, it shows businesses that you had a goal, or a job, employers, that you had a goal and you saw it through. And here's your diploma or degree of proof of putting in X amount of hours to learning this thing. But for instance, for the gym, your muscles is proof of putting in X amount of hours to obtaining this body shape and this mental confidence that you now have. So I would encourage you to go to the gym, because not only is it going to obviously help you look good for the fitness, but it's going to make you feel good on the inside. And you also want to have a really strong posture. So you want to do a lot of ab exercises, so that way you have a strong core. And when you have a strong core, your walking will improve that much better, because when you walk in heels, it all comes from your core, because your core is the center of gravity. But we can make another episode on that part. But going back to your presentation, your physique is your presentation. Your body is your business card. It's part of the first impression. As you walk in the room with your head held high and arms popping, biceps popping, maybe you got a little crop top on, we can see a little cut of an ab popping. That is part of the first impression. Those first 3 seconds of a judge looking at you and making an assumption before you even open your mouth is your physique. So make your body as strong and as fit as you can, where you still have such a feminine edge over the next girl, because we can see the results of you investing into your appearance, into your body. So I want to talk about shape real fast, because I think something is a lost art in fashion that people don't really think about. Well, I think they do think about it now, which is shapewear. You know, I know that you guys all know about Kim has Skims, and there's spandex out there. I feel like sometimes we kind of lost the idea of putting that on for real, or that we feel like we need it for, a special occasion. But no, put it, or you need it if you're a certain size, and that's not true. I am a size 4, and I wear spandex. There is nothing wrong with wearing spandex at whatever size you are. For any outfit, there's nothing wrong with putting on the spandex just to go to a job interview, and I think that people forget, or they feel like they have to wear it for something special, but you don't. I would encourage you guys to get, like, every day, get a few pairs of shapewear, so that way you'll always have curves, and those curves will always be defined in such a strong way. It will never hurt you to wear shapewear. And also panty lines. That's such a faux pas for me. If I could tell and I could see your panty lines, to me, that means that some older lady did not teach you the game of how to dress. Now, thongs, what's it called? Thongs, going commando, honestly, and the seamless underwear are options for you. Never ever wear full coverage panty bottoms. 1, that's the wrong color, but 2, where the lines show. Back in the day, we used to wear a slip. You know what I'm saying? Some people might know what I'm talking about. You used to wear a slip underneath your dress to prevent panty lines. Somewhere along the way, we stopped wearing slips because they don't make slips short enough for some of these skirts. But you never want to show panty lines. You don't want to show any under outfit lines, top or bottom. If you're wearing a cami, millennials, if you're wearing a cami, I still don't want to see straps. I don't want to see bra straps. I don't want to see Hanger straps. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't stand when I say hanger straps. Cut those off. And I don't want to see panty lines. I don't want to see where your shirt is tucked into your pants because it's all balled up above your booty. I don't want to see anything. I want to see clear, clean lines. And that's what shapewear does. You can wear a shapewear bodysuit that is a thong, and it will create such a nice, clean line, smooth line down your front and back side of your body and give you a little bit of curves. Now, it never hurts to have a little bit of curves. It doesn't need to be exaggerated, because we're going to see you in swimsuit. But if you got a little tub, you know what I'm saying, a little tummy, it's okay. And if it's not gone by pageant day, it's okay to wear spandex. Don't feel like you're faking the funk by creating clean lines on your body for a better first impression. That to me gives you a leg up because it shows that you know how to dress. And you know how to dress for the occasion. So really try to invest in some good shapewear. Get a few pairs, practice in them, wear it to the store. It would really increase your confidence too. And it helps with your posture too, because it would be hard to slouch with shapewear on. So really tighten that up on the inside. Get it tight, get it right. Tape, spandex, all that. Also boobs, nipple showing. Get a hard bra, a bra with pad, and create smooth lines over your tatas too. There's no reason on the planet why we should see the outline of your areola and of your nipple when chicken cutlets exist. There's ways to cover that up, and we could do another episode of that. But create clean lines. That's the power of presentation. Moving down, some other things that I do as like cheat codes for my presentation. Obviously, spray tanning. I know that's a thing already, but I think some girls kind of do the wrong color, and I feel like that looks worse than if they would have left themselves alone. So I don't do spray tanning. I haven't. I would, but what I do is that I use self-tanning lotion. L'Oreal has the best one. Luminance or Jardins or something like that. I will put it on a Pageants Prosecco Instagram page as a link to my Amazon storefront. So this is my cheat code for pageants and just summertime shy period. You know what I'm saying? It creates such a glow, and I put it on every day almost in the summer, but it does take about a day for it to really show up. And it takes like a few hours for it to really shine. So I put it on a few days out, let it dry, and then, get dressed. And then the next day I'll put on again when I'm competing or on a runaway. And it shows up really, really nice. The only thing is that it is a little bit it does transfer a little bit if you don't let it dry all the way. But for the most part, that's my go-to. There's also a pump, like a little loose pump that I use. And then, Jergens has a self-tanning lotion that I use pretty much every day, and that regulates skin color. Shea butter, I use every day for the most part. Coconut oil, I use once every other day. I use coconut oil for other parts, and Vaseline. All of these things are things that you have at home. Apply it every single day. You will see a difference in your skin. And then there's also that gel. Vaseline has a gel that is just game changer. Literally, a little goes a long way. I would recommend that 100%. If you want to look shiny and smooth and silky, any one of those things or those combinations, apply it. Apply shea butter every single day. Shea butter will get rid of dark marks on your body. I'll apply that every single day. And then I use the Vaseline jelly on special occasions when I'm about to take a picture or in a swimsuit. But for the most part, I self-tan with lotion a few days out. And then, I'm always using shea butter or coconut oil on my body all year round. And then pageant week, when I'm pageant prepping, is when I start self-tanning a week out or so with the lotion. And then the day of is when I add Vaseline, the Vaseline jelly thing, because it makes you super shiny. Okay, that's my cheat code. I'll put all that on the link and Pageants and Prosecco Instagram page. Okay. All that stuff is under $20. I don't think any of them is over $16. And that's my cheat code for having glossy, smooth, shiny, bronze looking skin as a Black woman. To me, that and your actual face skin shows a pillar of health. You're literally glowing. You're glowing from outside in and inside out at that point. You know what I'm saying? That is also part of your presentation. Especially, ladies, your legs, your shins, and your kneecaps. Shea butter right now. Right now. Get your body together right now while it's winter, because it makes more sense to put on lotion and cover it up with clothes versus, putting it on and then getting sunburst or whatever. But I see so many girls who neglect their legs and they have marks on their legs. They had a fun childhood. I had one too, where the knees are all scuffed up. If you can't fix it with products starting now, like shea butter, to even out your skin tone, put on makeup. A little dab of makeup goes a long way, but it's hard to get it even. That's why I think self-tanning kind of does work, the spray tanning. But work on your legs now, your knees, your elbows, things that move on your body, and you might get pigmentation, or darker pigmentation, underneath your eyes. Because when I see people's legs, and it's like when you see a guy who you could tell he only works out his upper body. The same thing with girls. It's like, wow, you invested into your face so much, but your knees look like crazy. It's easily preventable with shea butter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you could just tell, I could tell now, oh, if she would put shea butter on for 6 weeks consistently, this will go away. This mark will go away, and it's drinking water too. But don't just invest into your skincare on your face and neglect your legs or your upper thighs, especially if you're in swimsuit and fitness, because those things are what people see first on stage. Because we're at a distance as the audience member, as the judges, we're not going to see a pimple on your face on stage, but I will see a scar on your leg way more prominently on stage. So power presentation. To me, if I see a scar on you and it's not like something if you have a noticeable scar that you got from surgery, bring that up. If it's going to be something that the judges are going to notice, bring that up. I saw one girl who had a lot of moles. I have a lot of moles. My moles are small. I saw one girl who had big moles. And so she brings it up in interviews, so that way when the judges see her, they already know what they're looking at. If you have a scar from a childhood car accident going across your legs, just slightly mention that. You don't have to make it your personality during interview. And that's another thing too. I'll talk about that later. People who harp onto one thing during interview, and that's their whole personality. Don't make the scar your personality. But if you have something noticeable that can't be fixed through modern medicine, you know what I'm saying, and it's obvious, you could probably bring it up, but it's at your discretion. I'm talking about scars that are new or a little bit aged. If I could tell that you had a rough childhood, or not even you had a fun childhood playing kickball because your knees are all scarred up, but you're 27, I'm gonna be like, oh, she's not really serious about her appearance because her knees are still scarred. I think as a feminine woman, you will want to fix any imperfection on you. So if I see that you have a little bit of scars here and there, to me it shows a little bit of where you're a little bit lackadaisical in your appearance. That's just me. So I would invest into shea butter. Literally get the biggest tube of Palmer's you can find, and I rub it in my hands till it melts, and I apply that pretty much every single night on the front of my on my knees for sure, and on my shins, and on my face. That's what I prioritize, and on my hands, back of my hands. That's what I prioritize it. You might have other areas where you prioritize it, but if this is your first time hearing about it, shea butter is your friend for any marks on your body that you want to fade. Now, it's going to fade over time, but it will fade. Trust me, it will fade. So, the Power of Presentation, episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We could talk more about it. Send me a DM on Instagram, Pageants Prosecco, the podcast, or on Facebook underneath the same name, or on my personal Instagram, Facebook, the Brett Brooks, TheBrettBrooks. And you guys check out the website, pageantsprosecco.com. I have the Book of Beauty, where I give you pretty much my game plan of how to prepare for interview for pageants down to a T. Now you can do everything on your own through the book. It's really, really easy. It's really, really simple of how you can find your personal branding and how you can determine your agenda. And heading into the spring, I will open up a few sessions of individual coaching. If you just want me to help you guide you to who you are and who you could be in a pageant interview room, I got you. This is all lessons from an award-winning journalist. I will catch you guys in the next episode.